Chosen one, listen closely. Your journey to this very moment was not a mere accident nor a random collection of events. You did not stumble here by chance. Heaven itself has been working behind the scenes, orchestrating every step you've taken, every twist, and every turn of your life. Every high and every low, every moment of joy, and every season of struggle has been a part of a much grander plan, one that was designed with purpose and intention. What you may have once thought were coincidences, challenges, or even burdens were actually divine appointments. Each trial, each rejection, each painful silence was an integral part of your spiritual development. These moments were not sent to break you, but to build you into the person you are becoming. In times of great hardship, when the world seemed to turn its back, and when the echoes of your prayers felt unheard, you may have wondered if God had forgotten you. It's easy to question the silence when we feel lost, alone, or abandoned. Yet what if I told you that the silence wasn't a sign of abandonment? It was, in fact, a sign of divine observation, a test of your love for God, not your strength or achievements. This test wasn't about your ability to withstand hardship or how long you could endure the storms of life. No, God wasn't testing your endurance. He was testing the depth of your love. And unlike any other test, this test didn't come with visible signs or immediate results. There were no external rewards, no immediate answers, no applause from the world. This test was one of the heart, and its measure was the purest form of love, the kind that remains steadfast even when everything around you falls apart. For God, this test was not about how strong you could be in the face of adversity. It was about your ability to love Him even when the circumstances didn't align with your desires. It's easy to love when everything is going well, when blessings flow freely, and life feels like a smooth ride. But the true measure of love is found when the blessings seem delayed, when the prayers go unanswered, when the silence feels unbearable, and when you are left standing alone, waiting for an answer that may never come in your preferred timeline. The essence of this test lies in your heart's ability to remain in love with God, even when the world seems to have turned its back, and even when His voice feels distant or silent. Think back to those moments in your life when you found yourself in the darkest of valleys, facing the most painful of trials. Perhaps there were times when you felt the weight of the world pressing down on you, and you questioned where God was in those moments. You may have cried out asking, "Where are you, Lord? Why do I feel so abandoned?" But even in those moments of anguish, you didn't abandon God. You held on even when it seemed like there was nothing left to hold on to. You chose forgiveness when bitterness wanted to take root. You chose patience when anger and frustration seemed so much easier. You chose to surrender control to God when every ounce of your being wanted to take matters into your own hands. Heaven was watching you through every single one of those moments. Each time you chose love over bitterness, each time you held on to faith instead of giving up, each time you walked through a storm and still whispered, "I trust you." Lord, heaven took note. The world might not have seen it, but heaven recorded every moment of your faithfulness, your loyalty, and your love. Those silent cries you whispered during the darkest nights were not in vain. They were not wasted. They were a declaration of your unwavering devotion to God. You are not just surviving the storms of life, you are passing the divine test of love, a test that was never about your outward actions or achievements, but about the condition of your heart. This test was about proving your affection for God, not in the easy times, but in the difficult times. Not when the blessings were flowing, but when everything seemed barren and silent. As you look back, you may now understand that these silent testing seasons were never meant to break you. Instead, they were meant to purify you. God wasn't punishing you. He was preparing you for something greater. He was refining your love for Him, stripping away every expectation, every motive that wasn't pure. He was teaching you the kind of love that stands firm, not because it's easy or convenient, but because it is anchored in something far deeper. You have loved God not just for what He can give you, but for who He is. This is the kind of love that God values, the kind that endures through the fire, the kind that never quits, even when everything else around you crumbles. This test was never about your ability to survive the trials. It was about your ability to love in the midst of them. It was about your heart's commitment to God, even when you didn't understand, even when the answers didn't come, and even when the world made it seem like your faith was futile. God tested your love, and in doing so, He revealed the purity and depth of that love that doesn't fade when life gets hard, love that doesn't question when the blessings seem delayed, love that remains steadfast even when everything else is uncertain. And now, chosen one, as you stand here today, know this: you passed. You have proven your loyalty and love not by what you said or did in the moments of ease, but by how you stood firm in the moments of silence and suffering. This test wasn't just a trial. It was a divine appointment, a sacred opportunity to reveal the true depth of your love for God. And you passed. You passed the test of love, and now heaven is preparing to reward it. In this moment of reflection, it's important to understand the nature of divine love, the love that God values, the kind of love that God wants to see in you. It is not the kind of love that is built on emotion, fleeting excitement, or temporary feelings. It is not a love that rises and falls with the changing seasons of life. Instead, God values a love that is rooted deeply in covenant, a steadfast, unshakable commitment to Him that does not waver even when circumstances seem to question the very foundation of that love. This is the kind of love that is not dependent on what we receive, but on who we choose to love. It is a love that is marked by faithfulness, loyalty, and devotion, not based on what God can do for us, but because of who He is. This is the love that stands firm when all around you seems to crumble. This is the love that holds steady when the road gets tough, when the pain is overwhelming, and when your heart is tired and weary. It is the kind of love that remains even when everything else in life feels uncertain. It's a love that is not transactional. It is a love that goes beyond what is visible, a love that says, "I will follow you even when I don't understand the way." This covenant love is not about what you can get from God, but about what you can give to Him, even when the journey feels long, even when it feels like you are walking in the dark with no light in sight. It is a love that chooses to stand firm, knowing that even when everything feels silent, God is still present. But this kind of love is not always tested when things are easy. No, the true test of love comes in the silence, in the seasons of waiting, and in the painful moments when it feels like your prayers go unanswered. Love is tested most profoundly when everything seems to be going wrong, when your heart is broken, when your prayers feel empty, and when the answers you so desperately seek seem to remain hidden in the silence. When you face moments of isolation, betrayal, or rejection, the question is not whether you can endure, it's whether you can continue to love. It's easy to love when things are going well. But what about when everything falls apart? What about when it feels like no one is there to hold your hand, when it seems like your faith is being tested to the very limits? In those moments, you are not just enduring a trial, you are being refined. The fire that burns is purifying your love, shaping it and making it stronger, more resilient, and more real. The love that God values is not the kind that fades when things are difficult, but the kind that is only refined and proven when faced with adversity. You see, when everything is stripped away, when you have nothing left but your faith in God, that's when the true nature of your love is revealed. It's not about how strong you appear on the outside, but how strong you remain on the inside, even when your heart is breaking. When you have nothing left to cling to except the knowledge that God is with you, and yet you still choose to trust Him, that's when your love is tested and proven. The purity of love is refined in the moments when the blessings you expected don't come. When you've prayed for something, when you've believed for a breakthrough, and yet the doors remain shut and the heavens feel silent, that's when the test of love truly begins. It is easy to love when everything is going according to plan, when everything is falling into place as you hoped. But what about when the blessing doesn't come on your timeline? What about when the promise seems delayed, when the prayers seem unheard, and when your heart is filled with doubt and confusion? In those moments, your love is being tested not by how much you can endure, but by how much you can still love God, even when your circumstances seem to contradict His promises. God isn't asking you to endure pain just for the sake of it. He is asking you to endure in love, to continue loving Him, even when it seems like there is no reward for your faithfulness. He is asking you to love without conditions, to love without seeing immediate results, to love without knowing what the future holds. That's the kind of love that God values, the kind of love that isn't motivated by what we can receive, but by the unwavering commitment to stay faithful, even when we can't see the end of the road. Reflecting on the times you chose faith, patience, and surrender over bitterness, it becomes clear that heaven was watching every moment. Every tear you shed, every silent prayer you whispered, every moment you chose to trust God, even when you didn't feel like it, heaven took note. These moments weren't wasted. They were recorded as acts of love, as evidence of your loyalty and devotion to God. When you chose to forgive instead of harboring resentment, when you chose to remain patient instead of giving in to frustration, when you chose to surrender control instead of trying to take matters into your own hands, these were the moments that heaven witnessed as acts of pure love. What you didn't realize at the time was that these moments were not just about enduring hardship. They were about proving your affection for God. You weren't just surviving the storms, you were proving that your love for Him was real, even when everything around you felt broken. Every time you stood in faith, even when it didn't make sense, you were showing heaven that your love wasn't conditional. Your love wasn't based on what you could see, but on who you knew God to be. You loved Him not because of what He gave you, but because of who He is. That's what made your love so precious in His eyes. It's easy to love when things are easy, when life is flowing smoothly, but your love was proven in the silence, in the waiting, in the struggle. This test was never about your ability to endure, it was about your ability to love God, even when everything around you seemed to fall apart. It was about choosing God in the midst of uncertainty, choosing faith in the middle of doubt, choosing hope when despair seemed to have the upper hand. It was about standing firm in your love for God, even when you couldn't understand why things were happening the way they were. That's the kind of love that God values. It's a love that doesn't shrink back in fear when everything seems to be falling apart, but one that stands firm in faith, knowing that God is still with you, even in the silence. You see, chosen one, the test was not about your endurance, it was about the purity of your love. It was about proving to God that your love for Him was real, even when the answers didn't come and when the road got difficult. It's easy to love God when everything is going well, but when everything falls apart, that's when the real test of love begins. And you chosen one passed the test. You proved that your love for God wasn't based on comfort, blessings, or ease. Your love for Him was pure, and it endured even in the hardest of times. And for that, heaven is rejoicing. In the midst of life's most trying moments, there are times when God's silence feels deafening. You cry out for answers, but there is no response. Your prayers, once so certain, seem to echo unanswered into the void. In these moments, it's easy to believe that God has abandoned you. The quiet, the stillness, the absence of divine intervention can feel like a void, leaving you wondering if you've been forgotten. But what if I told you that this silence wasn't a sign of abandonment? What if this silence, this pause, was actually a sacred moment of divine assessment? God's silence during your testing is not a reflection of his distance. It is a divine assessment of your faith, your devotion, and the purity of your love. It's in the silence that your heart is truly tested. When the noise of life fades away, and all you are left with is your faith and your love for God, it reveals the depth of your relationship with him. Silence strips away distractions and forces you to face your true reliance on him. It isn't that God doesn't hear you. He is listening more intently than ever. The silence isn't the absence of God's presence, but the opportunity for you to experience his nearness in a deeper, more intimate way. When God is silent, it doesn't mean he has left. It means he is drawing you closer, teaching you to trust him even when you can't hear his voice or feel his hand. The silence, though uncomfortable, is a holy moment where your love is allowed to grow mature and deepen beyond surface-level emotions. This divine silence is not just a period of waiting, it is a time of testing, of purification. In those moments when God is silent, he is purging your heart of everything that isn't aligned with his will. The unanswered prayers, the moments when you feel abandoned, and the seasons of betrayal and isolation. These are not punishments, but processes. They are refining your love, preparing you for the next step in God's greater plan for your life. This is where the real work of transformation happens. It's where your faith is forged, where your devotion to God is tested and proven. God isn't simply waiting for you to endure. He's waiting for you to show that your love for him is unshakable, even when the answers don't come, even when the road gets tough. When betrayal occurs, when those you trusted turn their backs, or when people you thought would be there for you leave without explanation, it can feel like an unbearable loss. But know this, the purpose behind these moments is not to break you, but to purify you. Betrayal, unanswered prayers, and separation are tools God uses to refine your love and draw you closer to him. He is removing the noise from your life so that you can hear him more clearly. Those who leave, those who disappoint, and those who abandon you. God is using these moments to strengthen your relationship with him. The people who once filled your heart and occupied your time are being moved aside to make room for a deeper connection with God. It's in the moments of silence, betrayal, and loss that your heart is purified, that your love for God is made stronger, and that your dependence on him grows deeper. You see, the separation you've experienced was not a rejection, it was divine redirection. God was not taking things away from you to punish you, but to prepare you. When doors close, when relationships fade, when things you thought you couldn't live without are suddenly no longer part of your life, it is not because God is against you. It is because he is setting the stage for something greater. He is clearing out the old to make space for the new. The things you thought you couldn't live without were never meant to walk with you into the next season. God's plan for your life is always bigger than what you can see. His ways are higher, his thoughts deeper, and his timing perfect. So when things are stripped away, trust that it is not for your harm, but for your growth. God is redirecting you, moving you into alignment with the life he has always planned for you. The strength of love is truly tested when everything around you seems to crumble, when the ground beneath you shakes, when relationships fall apart, and when the dreams you held close seem to be slipping through your fingers. The true strength of your love for God is revealed. It's easy to love when everything is going well. It's easy to praise God when you're receiving blessings, when doors are opening, and when life feels like a smooth ride. But what about when life becomes a battle? What about when the world feels like it's falling apart and the weight of the pain is more than you can bear? The true test of love is not when things are easy, but when everything falls apart and you still choose to stand. The reward for staying faithful without visible signs, for continuing to trust God even when everything seems uncertain, is the deeper connection with Him that you will experience as a result. Your love for God is not measured by how well you endure the good times, but by how you hold on to Him in the hard times. When everything else is lost, when it feels like the world has turned its back on you, and when you find yourself standing alone in the silence, that is when God's love shines brightest. The true test is not in your ability to survive, but in your ability to stay connected to God. Your love for Him is proven when you choose to hold on to Him, even when nothing makes sense. It's when your heart is heavy, when your prayers seem unanswered, and when the pain seems unbearable that your love is truly tested. In those moments, it's not about your ability to endure the storm. It's about your willingness to keep your heart tethered to God, to keep choosing faith, and to continue walking in His direction, even when the road is unclear. When everything falls apart, the reward for staying faithful is not just a promise of future blessings, but the deep, unshakable peace that comes from knowing that you stood firm in your love for God, no matter the circumstances. The silence, the trials, the betrayals, and the heartaches were not meant to break you. They were meant to make you stronger. They were meant to purify your love and refine your relationship with God. And through it all, heaven was watching, recording every act of faith, every step of obedience, and every moment you chose love over bitterness. As you stand in this moment, know that you have passed the test of love. You have proven that your love for God is real, that it is not conditional, and that it is not dependent on the circumstances around you. You have stood in the silence, in the pain, in the heartache, and you have still chosen to love God. This is the kind of love that heaven celebrates. This is the love that God values. And now, as you enter into a new season, know that the reward is not just blessings and abundance. It is a deeper, more intimate connection with God. The test was never about endurance. It was about the depth of your love. And you chosen one have proven that your love for God is unshakable. You have passed the test. As you reflect on the journey you have walked, it's important to recognize something profound. The silence and pain you endured were never meant to destroy you. These difficult seasons were not punishment or abandonment, but the necessary process of refining you, of elevating you into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Every moment of silence, every tear that fell, every unanswered prayer was not an indication that God had forgotten you. No, it was a divine orchestration designed to refine your heart, to deepen your trust, and to purify your love. The fire that burned was not meant to consume you, but to purify the very essence of who you are. Like gold in a furnace, the impurities of doubt, fear, and uncertainty were burned away, leaving behind a soul that is strong, steadfast, and radiant with divine purpose. You were being shaped, molded, and prepared for something far greater than what you could have ever imagined. The pain, though intense, was never the end of the story. It was the beginning of something new. You see, in the kingdom of God, the process of refining is never about destruction. It's about transformation. What once seemed like hardship was actually the womb of your elevation. Every moment of suffering was building the foundation for the victory that was always destined for you. God wasn't punishing you. He was preparing you. The pain you felt was not an indication of your failure. It was a sign of your preparation for the divine reward that is now waiting for you. And now the time has come for recognition. Heaven is declaring over your life, you have passed the test of love. You are no longer the one struggling in the silence. You are the one who has endured and triumphed. The test you faced was not about your strength or your achievements. It was about your heart, about the depth of your love for God, and your unwavering faith even when the answers didn't come. You passed not by your own ability to endure, but by your ability to love unconditionally, to trust when you couldn't see the way, and to keep moving forward even when everything around you seemed to crumble. The heavens have been watching, and now they are celebrating your victory. What the world may have seen as struggle, heaven sees as triumph. You didn't fail in your tests of faith, you passed them with flying colors. Your endurance was not a mark of weakness, but a testimony of your strength. When the storms raged, you stood firm. When the silence pressed in, you remained faithful. And now heaven is preparing to reward that faithfulness. The love you have shown, the trust you have placed in God, has been recorded in the courts of heaven as evidence of your loyalty. This is no small thing. The reward for passing the test of love is not simply a momentary blessing, it is divine elevation. In the kingdom of God, love is the true currency. It is the very thing that separates the called from the chosen. It's easy to worship when everything is going well. It's easy to express love when the blessings are abundant and the road is smooth. But what makes you different, what has set you apart, is that you have loved when the blessings seemed delayed, when the road was rocky, and when the world had every reason to abandon its faith. Heaven doesn't measure success by worldly standards. It measures success by the heart's ability to remain faithful, to endure, and to love even in the hardest of times. And because of your faithfulness, heaven is about to crown you. You will be lifted not because of what you have done, but because of who you have become. You have passed the test, chosen one, and now the divine crowning and recognition are yours. This is not a reward that the world will give you. It's a reward that comes directly from heaven. The weight of your faithfulness has not gone unnoticed. You may have felt like you were walking alone in the wilderness, but heaven has been right beside you, recording every step you took, every prayer you whispered, and every moment you chose love over bitterness. Heaven's perspective on your endurance has been one of victory, not failure. To the world, it might have seemed like a struggle, but to heaven, it has been a journey of triumph. You have proven that your love for God is not based on what He gives you, but on who He is. And now heaven is preparing to reward that love with divine elevation. The reward is not just about blessings, it's about trust. When you stood in the silence, when you remained faithful without visible signs of God's presence, you were building trust with heaven. You proved that your faith was not fragile, not based on circumstances or external rewards, but rooted in a deep, unshakable trust in God's goodness. And now, as a result, heaven is rewarding that trust by elevating you to a place of divine authority and favor. You are stepping into a new season, one where your love, your faith, and your endurance will be used to bring light and hope to the world. The very trials that once seemed to break you will now be the foundation of your testimony. What the enemy tried to use to destroy you will now be the testimony that God uses to elevate you. The true reward for passing the test is not just the blessings you will receive, it's the transformation that has taken place within you. This journey wasn't just about surviving the pain, it was about transforming that pain into purpose. You have been shaped, refined, and made stronger by the very trials that sought to break you. And now, as you step into this new season, you are not just stepping into a season of blessings, you are stepping into a season of divine authority. The authority that comes not from human achievement, but from a heart that has been tested and proven true. Your endurance has proven your worthiness to carry the message of God's love and grace into the world. And this new season isn't just about receiving, it's about giving. You have been tested, refined, and elevated, not for your own gain, but so that you can be a vessel of transformation for others. The love that has been cultivated in your heart will now be used to inspire, heal, and restore those who are still walking through their own struggles. You have been prepared for this moment, and now you carry the weight of divine responsibility. The love that once burned within you, tested by fire, is now a beacon of light for others to follow. You are no longer just a survivor of the test. You are a living testimony of God's faithfulness. You are walking in the reward of your endurance, and as you do, you will lead others to the same victory that you have experienced. So, chosen one, know this journey was never just about surviving. It was about transforming your pain into purpose, your struggles into strength, and your endurance into divine authority. Now, as you step into this new season, remember that the reward is not just in the blessings that will come, but in the authority and favor that you will carry as a result of your faithfulness. Your love for God has been tested, refined, and elevated. You have passed the test, and now heaven is ready to reward you, not just with blessings, but with a crown that only the faithful can wear. As you stand on the threshold of this new season, let this truth resonate deeply within you. The test is complete. You have endured, and now the reward is unfolding before you. What once felt like endless silence, what seemed like unanswered prayers, what you thought were moments of abandonment, these were not the end of your story. No, they were part of the divine preparation that led to your victory. The silent seasons, the struggles, the moments of doubt and uncertainty, all of it was shaping you, refining you, and ultimately positioning you for what is to come. You've walked through the fire, and now the light of your endurance is shining brighter than ever before. Heaven itself celebrates your unwavering faith. It has been recorded in the spiritual realm. Your loyalty, your persistence, your refusal to give up when everything around you seemed to crumble. In the moments when it felt like your strength was slipping away, when your heart was heavy with unanswered questions, heaven was watching and heaven is rejoicing. The season of silence is over. What you once perceived as abandonment was not God's distance from you, but His preparation for the greatness He was about to unleash. The silence was a sacred space where your love for God was tested, and in that testing you were refined. Now that love is about to bear fruit in ways you never imagined, you are no longer the one in testing the one who is struggling to hold on. Know you have emerged from that season as the one with a testimony. You are now a vessel of divine light and love, walking in the fullness of what you have learned, what you have endured, and what you have become. Your journey has not been in vain. Every trial, every challenge, every unanswered prayer, and every moment of solitude was part of the divine process that has led you to this point. You are no longer the person you once were. You are stronger, wiser, more compassionate, and more grounded in your faith than ever before. Your story is one of transformation, a story of endurance that is now being written as a testimony of God's faithfulness and love. As you step into this new chapter of your life, remember that this is not the end. It is the beginning of something even greater. The trials that once weighed you down are now stepping stones to your purpose. The battles you fought, the silence you endured, and the heartaches you overcame have all prepared you for the divine purpose that is unfolding before you. God has entrusted you with His love, His grace, and His light, and now you are being called to carry that light into the world. This new season is not just about receiving the rewards for your endurance, it's about becoming the embodiment of those rewards. You are now a living testimony of what it means to trust in God, to endure in faith, and to love unconditionally. This is your time to walk confidently in your divine identity. The victory is not just for you to savor, it is for you to share. You are called to be a beacon of hope, a reflection of divine grace, and a vessel of transformation for those around you. The people you encounter will see the light that now radiates from your life. They will witness the power of faith that has been tested and proven, and they will be drawn to that light, seeking the same peace, love, and strength that you have found. Your testimony is not just a story of survival, it is a story of divine purpose fulfilled. So, chosen one, the final call to action is clear. Embrace this new chapter with boldness and confidence. Walk in the knowledge that you have passed the test and are now stepping into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. You are a vessel of His love, a living testimony of His faithfulness, and a shining example of what it means to endure through the fire and come out refined. Share this message of victory with the world. Let others see the power of God's love in your life and let them know that no matter what they face, they too can endure and emerge victorious. You are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are the living proof that the waiting was not in vain. The blessings, the favor, and the divine purpose are all unfolding in this moment. So stand tall, chosen one. Walk forward in your divine identity, knowing that the journey has led you to this moment of triumph. The best is yet to come. You have passed the test, and now it is time to embrace the reward, to step into your purpose, and to shine as the light you were always meant to be. This is your moment. Let the world see the love, the strength, and the grace that God has cultivated within you. You are His chosen one, and the best is yet to come.